It is the Friday night Neil Atkinson with Josh Williams, with Shaun O'Donnell and with Mr. Kevin Walsh to get set up for a massive weekend against Manchester United. We are in the magnificent Reds Bar. Really pleased to be here. Exchange Street East. Just off the little square there, you'll find it, or off Dale Street as well. One way or another, you'll find your way here full of brilliant Liverpool memorabilia. A reminder of Liverpool's glorious past and glorious present, because this weekend, the most successful team in English football history faces the second most successful team in English football history, and that cannot be disputed at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a reason to be excited. I want to do this first and foremost, though. It's mad. I've known you for years, and I would say you're a man who hates an international break.
Indeed.
How gratified were you by the international break at the minute the final whistle went against Chelsea?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. Obviously, it took me maybe a couple of minutes after the final whistle against Chelsea, given what happened in the minute preceding it. But never has an international break been more perfectly timed for a Liverpool team than that one was for us, because that last week before, it was not just terrible in terms of results, painful to watch as well. We were absolutely shite. So yeah, God bless international football. And when you said we were going to talk about international break, everyone here went, I don't know about the international break, you know. And honestly, I literally couldn't tell you who England played, who scored, what scored the other.
Someone said the other day, Anthony Gordon scored. I was like, oh, did he? Yeah. No idea.
Yeah, literally not a clue.
But it was nice to switch your brain off, because it's a mad thing to say, because obviously it's the poor lads who do all the running around. Let's be crystal clear. We just do the sitting and watching them, sometimes with a drink in front of us. But honestly, when the final whistle did go against Chelsea, there was just a part of me who was like, fucking hell, it's been a long week, this.
Yeah, that's because that part had been dying inside for the last 7 days, that's right. Watching us lumber against absolute garbage and not getting anywhere with it was a bit of a killer, especially given the start of the season that we'd had. So it's one of them where sometimes the international break goes against you. Hopefully this time it goes for us.
We needed to go for us, Josh, because there's a few of them who needed a reset. I think who needed a fresh start. The manager today in his press conference is dead interesting about it. Felt to me like he was really laying a gauntlet down towards Isak, a little bit of a gauntlet towards Salah. Didn't feel like he was that much interested in continuing to make explanations around Alexis McAllister. I could be wrong, but the energy felt to me a little bit like, I'm sorry lads, we've got to get going now. That's what I got from Slot today.
No, I agree. I think a lot of what we've seen so far, I'm kind of on the fence as to whether it's like, is it a system thing or is it just individuals just being miles of it? Just like Kanate, for example. He just keeps standing on rakes, mate. Just keeps shooting himself in the foot. That's not like you can't put your teammates on that. You can't put pre-season on that. That's just like, just pay attention, mate. Do you know what I mean? McAllister, you know, it's a bit weird around here. And I like what he said around Isak though, where like, you know, now you can judge him. Yeah. In other words, right, step up now, lad. This is your chance.
No, I think step up is. There is a moment here of stepping up and being counted, and I think, you know, Virgil's often mentioned to the manager. I'm always quite struck by it. People will say to the manager, Virgil said this, and you just get the impression the manager's like, yeah, whatever he said's right. But he sort of tried to say what Virgil means to say is, this is the direction if he's anything like me, and he was pointing out, you know, what it is that Liverpool do come up against, why it is a little bit different. But what I like about him, and it's interesting, a stark contrast to United managers across however many years it's been now. He's just not interested in any excuses. And I think he's been a bit more excusey so far this season than he was last season and normally is. Yeah. But then I just sort of got the impression today he's like, fuck that now. Yeah. This is now the real deal. And we're 1 point behind Arsenal. He makes reference to that as well. I thought he was really, you've had your rest, lads, you've had your reset, let's go and do some football.
Yeah, he mentioned set pieces again though, you know. He keeps saying we haven't scored from a set piece, we haven't scored from a set piece, and he keeps kind of like, you know, you can tell it's annoying him. Kanate's had a good few sitters, by the way. He's missed all of them.
Proper 10 bob head, mate.
Yeah, and 50p, mate, yeah.
It's mad though, his head's got 50p.
Yeah, I honestly think even more so, than it already was, and it wasn't great to start.
But that would help though, you know what I mean? If the ball was going in from the odd little corner, and we were getting a lead here and there, that would help, like, so. I think, as you say, he's just calling, like, you know, calling out a good few players there.
I think the other thing is, that week, that we've all sort of become, where everyone sort of refers to it now as the week, the way in which it went. It was 3 aways, 3 difficult aways, 3 tough grounds. I'm not acting for a second as though Galatasaray is some sort of great football team that's going to take the whole of Europe by storm. But the point is, the pitch was a horrible thing. They were loud. Liverpool should cope and deal with it, don't get me wrong. But playing back at Anfield, it feels so long since there's been a proper game at Anfield. It is the derby. I don't count Southampton in the League Cup. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe that's a bit of privilege because we get to go all the time. But I'm looking forward to being back at Anfield.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, that week that you referenced, so I was in Ibiza for the Palace game. so I didn't even know it was taking place. And then I was recovering from Ibiza for the Galatasaray game. So I always come to on like the Thursday and was like, what's happened there? so the Chelsea game was the first one that actually hit me properly. So I was like, oh, so...
Oh, when an Ibiza come down, so you've had a bad time there, haven't you?
So the international break that, you know, we referenced before, it was good and bad because I think that what made it bad was, look, the internet reds and how insufferable it's become in terms of like over-exaggerating everything. And I think that we're in a situation now where I remember like Liverpool fans and match-going fans like always defending their team to like Evertonians or Man United fans. I feel like now I just defend the team against Liverpoolians, which is mad. So that was a bit mad. But I think that just like to your point about going back to Anfield, you know, forget about the internet reds for a second. Everyone on that ground will be in the right spirits, and everyone, you know yourself. Like no matter what you think, even yourself, the negative thoughts you have in the week, everything that you think about, that you read about, the second you're in the pub with your mates and like around the ground, the positivity is there, and you're ready to get into the ground and support the team. So I think what Slot's been saying about, right, this is it, how we go. I think we can say that as fans now. And listen, yeah, has it been perfect? No, but has it been that bad, really? I'm not sure. Like, I know performances haven't been absolutely where we want them to be, but I'm looking at patches, particularly in the Chelsea game, the one game that I've seen tonight, where I'm like, yeah, we look good here. And all right, it was 10, 15 minute spells, but I'm thinking, we did, there's signs there to say that, like, put it this way, I'm not worried at all.
Not in the slightest.
No, I'm generally not worried because I look at Arsenal and I think, have they got 2 defeats in them on the spin? Absolutely. I look at City and think, have they got 2 defeats on the spin? Absolutely. I think, am I worried that we're not going to win it by 30 points? Yeah, of course I am. But, you know, if this was any other season, we didn't have last season, it's all about get to February, be in the mix in February. And like think about that, we won the league, twice in the last 10 years or whatever, yeah. And we've won it by a counter every time. If we can just get to February and be in with us, that's what it's normally about, you know what I mean?
There's a little bit today, our manager references it and their manager's referenced a couple of times that the underlying numbers are a bit kinder to United than the results look as though they are. The flip side of that, though, is the underlying numbers are skewed by the fact that they play both Burnley and Sunderland at home. They played 10-man Chelsea also at home, albeit in insane conditions. And by the way, not enough was made of that game. It could be one of my favourite football matches of all time.
You love your conditions as well, though, don't you? Love a bit of rain.
I also love where 2 teams I don't like, where it looks like everyone's having a terrible time.
And they all did, doesn't he? Yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
So it's got all that. My point being at the minute is we played 6 of the current top 8. We're also in the top 8, and the other team we played Burnley.
Yeah.
Away, where we do, you know, sort of fine in terms of that. I just think even now, even this early, Josh, people who do sort of cite the numbers, and I know that a lot of that's your background, it's a little skewed. Even after 7 games, you don't really get a genuine picture until you're 12, 13, 14 games in.
Yeah, no, it's always the case, to be fair. There's a lot in there that you need to consider. And I do think United are a little bit better. Where are they in the table now?
10th.
I was going to say they're better than 10th, probably a little bit better than 10th. I think the saving grace for me with Liverpool...
Better than Bournemouth?
Ooh, no.
No chance.
No.
We're only just about better than Bournemouth.
Well, I mean, I think go high.
Honestly.
They're better than Brazil 1970.
That's a more favourable comparison.
What I mean by that is Liverpool this season play Bournemouth. It's in a way almost our most straightforward home game so far. More straightforward than Atletico Madrid, at least in theory. Again, Park Southampton. The derby's the derby. Arsenal's lashed in there. So that, you know, United and Bournemouth will finish relatively close together in the table. And Liverpool are... They're not brilliant, but they're 2-0 up on the hour mark, and they are comfortable. And then things do go wrong, don't get me wrong. But that's why I asked, do you think they're better than Bournemouth?
Well, I think the saving grace for me is the points that we've already got on the board. I think to have the start that we've had, and to be... after the week we've had, it felt like a really bad week, and we're only a point behind Arsenal. You know, I would have absolutely taken that. At the start of the season, where we are now, with the games we've got out the way, I would have taken a point behind Arsenal. So if you can build from here, you know, Isak now, as Slot has said, has got full fitness. There's no real injuries in the team apart from Leone, I think. So you can hopefully go on and push on from here with the awareness that you're only a point behind. I would take at the next international break, again, just being within 1 result, and you go from there. But I think generally the performances that we've seen from Liverpool, although you make some good points, I think they've generally been a bit wobbly.
Well, they've not been. What I say complete, I don't mean brilliant for 90 minutes.
Do you think we've looked like title winners yet in any game?
We don't look like title winners per se, but we do look like a team who's introduced half a new face.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I agree.
I agree. Which was always going to be the case, wasn't it?
I think we look like title winners at home against Bournemouth, Atletico, and against Everton. Genuinely.
I would argue we looked like title winners when we scored last minute against Burnley, because that's what title winners do. Do you know what I mean? They
Second
find a
half
way to
against
win.
Palace, we were miles better than them as well.
Burnley, I'll give you. That was a dominant game as well. They didn't do
I
anything
think
in that game.
with Everton, it's the end of a long week. They've had the 3 games and they've just put all the chips on. We'll get a good lead and then we'll just manage the rest of it out. And they do that. It just doesn't feel like that because of the previous results.
Yeah.
So I think that Everton feels like it's actually a more.
I think that's arguably our best half of the season, that first half.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but in the second half, Grealish starts to get involved. You know, it goes down a little bit.
But it's also our last half at home.
Yeah.
So it's our last proper game at home. It's literally the derby, which is mad given, you know,
Good point, yeah.
it's that long
Doesn't
ago.
feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it at all, but it's, you know, like I say, you don't count Southampton because of the way in which it's changed, and it's not, you know, and they're also they're a championship team, and that's why I'm quite like that's why I am optimistic, like Shaun.
Yeah.
Is the last time Liverpool have had to step on the pitch in a big game at Anfield for 55 minutes they deliver, and you know there's a good bit of play from Ndai and Gay knocks it in, but Everton only managed 2 shots. After then, the laugh of them needing more injury time when they barely managed to actually have a shot on the Liverpool goal was insane. That's what. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I take your point. I think it's more. I think that perception's marred by, you know, it was a really good. And I think the good second half against Arsenal, but it's marred by being fucking abject, genuinely awful for 45 minutes at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I think the positive with Liverpool at the moment is you have a seriously talented squad. So I think the floor of the team's proper high, like, and I think there's almost too much talent to fail, really. But getting them all singing from the same hymn sheet is the key. Because I think we have a better first 11 than Arsenal. But right now, to me, they look more like title winners than Liverpool do. But they're still only a point ahead. There's loads of time to go still. So lots to play for, like.
We've now got the experience. We've seen this twice now, two league wins, and they're quite different, even though they both end up comfortable in a way. You know, it's not like, you know, let's be clear, what happens in 2019-20 is unique. Yeah. You know, we'll never again will a side win 27 out of the first 28 games. I just won't have it. I always have a laugh about the fact that I once did a radio thing in 21-22 with Chris Sutton, which was my favourite of the Klopp Liverpool teams, was 21-22. But I was on the radio with Chris Sutton and he said, they just don't seem to me like they're able to hit the same level as that 19-20 team. And I was like, Chris,
Yeah, there's a bit
Chris, no, whatever it is. But you've got to bear that in mind. But in the context of this, I think your point before about sort of finding a team, last season, Paris Saint-Germain going in and do a double off the back of finding the team through the winter and then having the team that they want in the new year. I think we could do with it coming a little bit quicker because the Premier League can get away from you if you're not careful. But there is an element, isn't there, of finding something?
Massively, because you look at the players that we brought in. Josh said before, too big to fail, or too good to fail, whatever they're saying.
I like too big to fail. Let's
too
say
big.
that.
Well, in terms of our signings, the effectively are, the Vert was a record sign for the league, and then we go and blow that out the water by signing Isak. Does anyone on the table think that they're not going to work? You can have a little, well, I don't know where he's actually going to play yet, or whatever with Vert. Isak, you just know he's scoring goals, and that bar an injury, obviously. Some sound with that. The fullbacks, do you know what I mean? We've had Stens who plays a different game, but fullbacks aren't real football players, are they?
No, come on.
Just run up and down here for me. Do you know what I mean? They're not there to cause any harm. No offence, Rob, if you're watching, like. But
I was a fullback, cheers.
Then, he says it all.
Honestly, if I began to offer my true feelings about goalkeepers, Kev would be mercy.
I fully know what his feelings on goals are. He's not bad. But my point is, the players that we brought in, we've changed half of the team, but they're all players of a calibre that say you're probably more towards what's the average hit rate on a transfer? 50-50, maybe 60-40.
Yeah, 50, yeah.
Liverpool, yeah, 50-50. If you had to back me to say of the players we brought in, I'd say you're talking more towards the top end of that, 75%, maybe something around that in terms of getting them to the level that we want to be at. Now, there will be one that falls away. But I put my money on it being one of the ones that didn't cost us £100 million. And then if they do come to the party, before you know, you're going, oh my God, I just stopped that. And you think about the team that they're coming into. Obviously, we've replaced quite a few players in there, but Alexis McAllister and Florian Wirtz were born to play football on the same pitch together. I am telling you that when that happens, it is going to be poetry in motion. So Alexis McAllister's been a little bit below his best, probably hasn't helped Wirtz. Wirtz hasn't got a goal or an assist. But anyone who's watched him with their own eyes can tell you he's an unbelievable football player. Isak, we've seen in the past in the Premier League for Newcastle.
And Ekitike's done well.
Ekitike's come in flying. The only issue might be that Ekitike potentially falls between two stools, between left-hand side and centre-forward. And we might have to sort of fudge the numbers a little bit there. But they're them good problems to have, isn't it? Rather than saying, well, we've got no one to play there, we might have a little bit too much to actually play there. So if you think of where we've landed up, we've had our crisis week, and you wouldn't imagine it's going to go for much more than 2 or 3 games like it did. Lucky enough, we had the natural breakwater in the international break. And I just get the feeling that when we come back, we'll just see a little bit more measurement in the performances, a little bit more, just relax a little bit. This is the idea, this is the plan. Whereas at times it just felt a little bit like, just do something, anything, doesn't matter. Whereas if we play to the system and the manager's sort of got them a little bit more on board, I think he'll just see us once we hit the level and click. I think we'll be absolutely sound.
Listen, I think that's right, and I think, you know, it's been referenced by Van Dijk, but you can't rule out the emotion. So, and I don't mean necessarily all the negative emotion from what happened. The emotion of playing at Anfield, the emotion of Anfield being just like it was against Bournemouth, the emotion of all the games after that, winning last minute, doing all that. You're sort of playing on fumes, you're playing on vibes, aren't you? You're just like getting through, and then you have that slap in the face. And I think you're right, the international break's coming at a time where hopefully, and listen, Sunday's no given, and we'll come on to talk about it, but hopefully we do see that bit more measured approach like we seen last season. That was when Slot come in, that was the one thing you could say, it looks like he's offered a bit more measurements of like, they're thinking about things a bit more, they're just slowing things down a little bit. And I think with the calibre of play that we've got, to your points, that's what we need right now, isn't it?
Okay, we're in Reds. We are with Erdinger. It is an absolute pleasure on both fronts. Back in a second.
And Erdinger, please.
Stop! Don't forget the best bit.
It is with Erdinger. It is Friday night. It is in Reds, I said before, Exchange Street, east off Dale Street, just the bit where Dale Street just becomes Water Street, and no one knows why. Anyway, I'm caught with me, Kev, Shaun and Josh. One thing that does concern me is I do feel as though he's almost got too many decisions to make. Like, I think it's never good. I think you often want to say as a manager, these are these good headaches, these are these good problems. And when everything is going really smoothly, you end up with good headaches and good problems. At the minute, they're not actively bad headaches, they're not migraines. There's just, he's got to choose. He's got to choose right back. I think he's got to choose centre back. Other people might disagree. I think he's got to make a McAllister call before the weekend, this one coming up against United. I think he's got a left wing call to make. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got decisions, and that often isn't good. And I think we could sort of do with him getting a lot right on Sunday. Because I think if he gets a lot right on Sunday, the 6 games that follow before the next international break are almost like, it's like a decision tree. You get them right as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, it's definitely the case, isn't it? Because the right back one, we've got 3 options there, and the best one of them isn't a right back at the moment, unfortunately. So there's an argument to say we'll play one of the others and play him into form and should give him the time there. But you shows we're doing that on the left-hand side, and I think there's probably been times where I've thought Robertson to come back in would be the best option. But the last few games have made me think actually Kirk has quietly gone from being a bit like, oh, to actually it looks like he knows what he's doing here. He might still be a little bit, his teammates are catching up with what he wants to do in terms of, is he bombing on, is he playing deep, is he playing the ball from deep, which I wasn't really expecting him to do, but he's done. So the decisions like that again, they don't concern me that much. The Szoboszlai coming out of midfield concerns me because he's our best one in there at the moment. I know Gravenberch's obviously brilliant, McAllister's obviously brilliant, Wirtz, slow start but is obviously brilliant. But I just feel like Szoboszlai just allows everybody else that little bit of freedom to do what they're doing. So whether that's Gravenberch to sit deep and play the balls because he knows that if it does go wrong, well, Szoboszlai will be in there to help me out anyway. Or whether it's McAllister to maybe push that a little bit further forward, maybe try to kill a pass that doesn't necessarily look like it's on. It's the striking options that the reason they're not good options at the minute is they're not really firing hardy. We've got Salah who's just looking like sometimes he just looks a little bit off it, then scores 2 goals. So if that comes on Sunday, which he loves doing against United, well, sound, all the rest of them there. Gakpo played well apparently for Holland the other day. So if he gets back into form, Ekitike obviously started well, then had a bit of a doom brain moment. And Isak's coming to fitness, as the manager said today. So I know you're saying they're not necessarily great problems to have, but I'd rather have that than, oh my God, who are we playing there?
Yeah, I think it's with them, Shaun. I think he's just got to, I'm going to get to the point of year 11. But he's also got to respect the fact that he's not got a good record against sides that play 3 at the back. And the one thing we know is that Manchester United are going to play 3 at the back. There's more variance in what United do than is given credit for, I think, across mainstream sort of coverage. At times they focus on one flank, at times they focus on the other. They're clever with who they use in which area. I don't want to act like, you know, it's not a straightforward game. It's a massive one for them, and they'll be determined to get something out of it. They're not good enough for Manchester United, but they're not idiots. They're not absolute dopes. So he's got to bear that in mind as well, the manager. You know, and I don't even think it's just him. I think, for instance, you go back to 23-24, Jurgen loses to Crystal Palace under Glasgow 1-0 at Anfield. You know, I think that this team sort of struggled with back threes, and we could do with getting a solution for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, it's not directly back three, but Slot mentioned in his press conference today that teams are playing differently against us now. It is just low block every game, and that's what we're coming up against. And I think that's why we've signed Alex Avert. And I think the selection on, and I know you're going to come on to it, but the selection, the headache or the triangle for me is right back midfield, because you've got Dier Putterbosley in there, who's been playing amazing there and been probably the best right back we've seen for, you know, since the last one. And then that allows Vert and McAllister to play together. Or to your point, do you say to McAllister, not today, mate, and it's Vert who plays there, and it's Conor Bradley who comes in at right back? Because I think, for me, they're the two decisions that you need to make. And I think,
can I just ask you, the two of you, before I bring Josh in, if you could clone Szoboszlai, would you pick him in both positions?
I'll play him in goal.
You say, yeah,
brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. As you say.
Yeah, no, he's been brilliant this year, and I think that this is another thing about the team adapting to the different ways of playing, and why I'm not so downbeat on the first part of the season, because I think that teams are looking at us differently. We're the champions. We roll at the time. Listen, it's always a big game to play against Liverpool, and we know there's certain teams in the league that always play differently when they play Liverpool. But probably for the first, this time last year, we were going under the radar, and no one was coming up against Liverpool going, right, low block every game, we're really, really scared of you. There was probably things where, the Klopp's gone, we can get at these, blah, blah, blah. Whereas now, you know, Man United are coming to Anfield on Sunday going, well, we can get at these, are we? They're thinking completely differently. So I think that's where I give them a little bit of grace, and that's why, what I said before, that selection headache is the only real headache I see, to be honest.
The most common pass from the goalkeeper who played for Man United against Sunderland was to who?
The lid.
Sesko.
Was it? Yeah. That's interesting.
Hit Sesko. More than anyone else hit Sesko.
I did a pod this week with the overlap, the man clad from the overlap, and he said he can count on one hand the number of aerial duels Sesko's lost this season. Probably up against Van Dijk. That'll be interesting to see, because I said the same about Virgil to him. But apparently Mbeumo running in behind him is like a attack that they've been using. I think they got a bit of joy from him against Chelsea, funnily enough, when Robert Sanchez gets sent off. So that's one to watch, like. But so are you not expecting them to build from the back at Anfield then? No.
I think he's gonna clip it to his wing backs, or he's gonna hit the big man.
Well, it could benefit us, because our press has been a bit dodgy so far this season. Like, we haven't got Szoboszlai taking part in it. He's in deeper areas. You know, Salah still doesn't defend, but he's not scoring. So it's a bit of a, you know, you got a bit of a tackle problem going on there, like. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they get on, because United played well when they last faced us under Amorim. You know, they played really well in that game. That's the best I've seen them play. I think under that manager. Yeah. So all I think it wasn't the end. Yeah, that was a good game, mate. So
it was Sen's fault as well. I'll be telling him. We play Real Madrid.
That was a bad one.
Well, he pulls out. What they do is they just target that area. He's got 4 or 5 players who are all playing in that area. When you look at the average positions, that's the match. You know, he pulls Fernandes to that side. Even Højlund goes to that side that day. I think Dalot's left wing back that day. He pushes right the way up.
I remember Dalot skinning Trent about 5 times in that game. In the first half alone. And Dalot's not particularly quick. You wouldn't associate him with dribbling or anything like that, but he was just dancing past Trent. But I think Liverpool so far at the moment, I wouldn't say I'd say it's still a weak spot for us. Even without Trent there, Bradley, you know, I think he started 6 games this season, got 7 yellow cards. Frimpong, for me, is not a fullback still. And Szoboszlai is
the best fullback ever.
Yeah, Szoboszlai, you could use, I mean, the team of Szoboszlai would be alright, wouldn't it? But you can only use him one place.
Yeah.
So what would your back 4 be for this?
I would go Bradley, Kanate, Virgil, Kerkez.
I'm not playing Karte, mate.
Who's the alternative though?
Honestly, I'd put anyone else there. Obviously, Gomez is the
See,
alternative.
I was scarred by Gomez against Southampton. I'd be saying the same if he didn't.
I don't think it's fair. Neil's not even.
No, it's not.
A real game,
it's not. But he was bad in that game.
Honestly, him alongside Van Dijk is a totally different kettle of fish. They get on so well.
I don't think it's just alongside Van Dijk. I think it's also with Gravenberch and somebody else.
But a real game.
Because he basically realised dead early, I can't pass to Endo. Do not pass to Endo under any circumstances. Which if you're playing centre half and you've just got to basically rule out passing to the holding midfielder, it makes your options a little bit difficult, and then you just start to do mad shit. So I'm quite sympathetic on the Gomez show.
Obviously, Gomez's issue is fitness related for me, not ability related.
No, I wouldn't say it's ability related. No, it's more sharpness for me. So like, talking about
sharpness, and you're talking about Kanate replacing him.
I know.
He's absolutely empty-headed. He's an absolute balloon, honestly. The start of the season
is harsh.
Terrible.
You can't start calling people balloons.
Well, listen, if he plays any better, I'll be all right with it. But his start of the season has been abysmal. Listen, when he's on form, he's great. But oh my God, to be fair, it's been a similar criticism of Gomez in the past. He's either there, but he's never there. It's down there when it's not working. And for so long this season, Kanate has been down there, and he's killing us in games, in my opinion. I think it's time to take him up and give Gomez a go.
I pick Gomez, but the reason why I pick Gomez, because I wouldn't use the B word on anyone. It's not on. It's just not on. I might get it edited. Not on. Not on for a Liverpool player. But the reason why I have this thing with Kanate where I feel as though, I've always said, one of the ways you know if Kanate is playing well is if he's passing well. I'm worried that that's now almost working inversely, in that because he's not passing well, he's not playing well.
Well, because he's not passing well, he wants to get involved in physical battles to prove what he can do.
Exactly. And now, that's one of the reasons why I pick Gomez, and I will pick Gomez, I'm with you. And I pick Gomez with an eye on using him in this run of games. And part of why I pick Gomez is he can carry it well, and he's happy to pass forward in quite a dynamic way. And I think that solves a bit of a problem for you. And if your view is Kanate he's getting embroiled in physical battles that he's losing, Gomez is sensible enough to know, you know what, I'm not going to win that. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just drop here, or I'll just make it awkward for him. And it doesn't matter to me as a matter of life and death whether I win that header against this Glock. I'll anticipate what comes next.
If Kanate loses the first 2 or 3 duels from the goalie to Sesko, I really, really worry about where his head will go in terms of making good decisions going forward. Whereas, as you just said there, that's just not Gomez's style. He's ultra cool, ultra laid back. Might not always be a 9 out of 10, but he has got the ability to sort of talk himself through a game. And at the minute, because he's in such poor form, I'm just not sure whether Kanate...
Who you play right back?
I would go for Bradley, because although he does keep getting booked for daft things, surely at some point he's going to learn. And I'd just be a little bit concerned that if Frimpong plays there and pushes so far up with Salah not pressing as well, if you were an opposition manager, you'd be like, get that ball into there and let's see what happens, especially if you've then got Kanate over there, who's embroiled in this physical battle with Sesko and then getting skinned by whoever plays left wing for them.
What are the early thoughts on Frimpong out of interest? Because I think what we initially forecasted of, like, he's not a fullback, why are you buying him, where'd you play him? I think it's playing out, personally.
I think the injuries hurt him, man.
Yeah.
So I think,
but even when he's played...
Yeah, but he seems sound on social media, so...
He started against Atletico, didn't he?
Don't know, to be honest.
I thought he was great against Bournemouth before he got
there was one game where he was really good. Bournemouth? I can't remember what it was. Might have been Bournemouth, yeah.
Charity Shield.
He scored, he scored in that one, didn't he?
I thought he was really good against Bournemouth for an hour, and then he got injured. I thought he was really good, and I'd pick him in this.
You'd start him, yeah?
I'd start.
What are you thinking?
Because I think that what you want is their wing backs and their wides
concerned about you rather than
going that way. You want them going that way. And I just think, and I think that we want a fast start. Which we, by the way, again, we had a fast start against Everton, we had a fast start against Atletico. This team's done fast starts this season. I'll say again, they were 2-0 up at home against Bournemouth by the time they hit the hour mark. The only proper game at home, they didn't have a fast start in was Arsenal. All the other games, they had fast starts. They played well for the first hour, or played well for the first 45. So I think you want a fast start. So I'd go with Frimpong, and I'd be backing. The only issue really is I think Frimpong's got our lines with the way the fixtures have fallen, because under no fucking circumstances would have played at Brentford. So, because...
So we need some big lads against Brentford.
I feel as though as well, if you've got Gomez to do the passing, and you push Frimpong on, the idea of Gomez being able to hit him early, hit him with that ball that he loves whipping around with his right foot, into his path, carrying it, I think you can make them sort of go backwards. That's my thought process. I could be wrong. Would
you play Kerkez on the left, or would you go for Robertson as more of a...
No, I would. In this one, I'd play Kerkez, because I think Kerkez has been good at Anfield, and I think he's where I've got question marks has been on the road, and I'd be playing Robertson against Frankfurt on Wednesday. So I'd go Kerkez and then I'd go Robertson.
That's it, all right. I go Szoboszlai, right back, to be honest. greatest living fullback. I just think we played our best football with Szoboszlai right back this season. I think like
That's fair.
the period, you know, obviously there's the Arsenal game, but I think the period against Chelsea second half when we are just dominating, when it's all a bit mad, I think just having him in that position, because it's more midfielders on the pitch basically, and I think against these we just want as many people.
But they've been playing Mason Mount left wing. And Mason Mount's a midfielder as well, so you're almost like adding more midfield. You do it that way around, so I'm not against that. I can see the arguments. Mason Mount is a midfielder.
Yeah, I'll play Szoboszlai because it means you can play McAllister, Wait and Gravenberch.
I just like the idea of a substitution in midfield that's effective. Obviously, you've got Curtis Jones who can come in if we play what you'd think would be Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz. But I don't know,
But the midfield sub though is bring Bradley on, innit? Do you know what I mean?
I know, but I just mean the fresh legs impetus. I think one of the issues we've been having is going 2-0 up and then we make a slight tactical tweak and it seems to just go to pieces for us. Whereas if you could make that tactical tweak with fresh legs rather than moving legs from one place to another, I just feel like, especially against these are not good enough that if you go 2-0 ahead and then implement a new plan with fresh legs, in my opinion, to come back from that. Now obviously you can be making stuff stupid today and stuff like that, but if you've got two solid midfield subs, not Endo, like God bless them, but not Endo, do you know what I mean? But if you can bring two solid midfield subs on, and you've already had the fast start that you're talking about, it just feels like a lot more of it. Okay, we can control the narrative of this game now, whereas we haven't really done that. I know the Everton game, obviously at the time, because your ears on fire when they get one back, isn't it? But looking back, we probably did a little bit more than people thought. But I just feel against these, if we just have that extra little bit of solidity in midfield, if we can get them goals, that's where you can just close the game.
I'm just really entertained by how mad Everton at home is. It's mad. You can't think straight about it when it's happening in front of your eyes.
It's not one bit enjoyable either.
No, because you've got to win.
Yeah.
Like just winning's not enough.
Yeah,
but you can't win 6-0. It's fucking mad. But yeah, you spend the whole of it going, well, why isn't this 6-0? I'd relax if this was 6-0.
And you wouldn't.
Okay, that's where you've ended up. What are you doing in midfield? If you're doing Szoboszlai like fullback, then are you doing Wirtz, McAllister, and what are you doing in midfield?
No, it's a good point to be fair. I mean, one of the issues I think we've got is we've got Wirtz, Mach, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai all. I mean, you kind of need to start them all. So the way in which you do it is by either putting Wirtz on the left, which I hate, or Szoboszlai at right back, but then you're benching two right backs, which feels a bit mad. So I take your point, but it depends how you view the McAllister thing. I think when everyone is on it, I think you could argue McAllister's our most influential midfielder.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But he's got to be on it.
But that's the thing. To get him on it, do you play him into it, or do you give him a break? So
I'm playing him in Frankfurt.
Right, so you would bench him in this game?
I'm playing him in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
He's just
because you might need
minutes. That's a bit when he scored 2 goals on a man of the match, though, hasn't he? So
yeah, but he's also come back from South America, and I'd just sort of say to him, lads, it's all right, it's a big game in the weekends, and you're going to come off the bench in this one, and we've all got to take turns, and we need to get you right, because what we will need, unless something mad happens elsewhere, like if we think we're winning this league, we need to be good in May. So last May he doesn't play, and the May before it's like he's got no legs. So I think you can. There's a journey here. Unless something mad happens, we're going to have to be really good at football in May. We all want to be in a Champions League final. I need to be really good at football in May. Yeah. So I'm all right with still managing this a little bit. And I'm literally saying, you're not playing Sunday, you're playing Wednesday. That's good, isn't it? That's me, I could be wrong, and I think the manager will pick McAllister, because I think one of the things with McAllister is the sort of footballer managers love to pick. Yeah. Because he's so clever at his best, and your point is spot on. And the manager will be thinking, well, fucking hell, it might just be today. Yeah, if it is today, we win the game. Yeah. Because that's how good he is.
Yeah, if you look at the way their midfielders as well, Bruno and Casemiro in there, when we last faced them, if you remember, there was a chance where McAllister runs off the back of one of the two of them, gets a chance on the half volley, and it gets saved very well. But I think if you're playing with a midfield two like that, if you're constantly running off the back of them, you can kind of flatten out. Like it becomes a back seven with Man United, because they've already got a back five.
Well, that's what he wants.
Exactly, so you want midfield runners in there. To be fair, all of our midfielders can do that, can't they?
But they're too good at that stuff and not necessarily going the other way. Yeah. My other worry with McAllister is I think people have realised you can run off the back of him.
Yeah. Who have they got to do that?
A little bit. Well, they may be dropping people into the area, but you're right, and that might work for us. What we're doing up front, because I'm all in on Ekitike left wing for this.
Ooh, big shout.
Yeah.
You're making a lot of changes here.
Yeah, I'm like I'm like you.
A lot of firsts.
Yeah. I'm like you're biting on the gum shield at this point, and you're going, this is it. And if you get this right, that's why I play right back at right back, because it helps your rotation options going through the run of games. I play Szoboszlai in midfield. It helps your rotation options coming through the games. Ekitike to play this one and Gakpo to play Wednesday, and you work out who's going to play through. And it helps you rotate. We need to get normality in terms of, not just in terms of selection, I think, but also in terms of like a run of selections. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. Like,
don't forget, one of the biggest normalities that we've had in recent years is Cody Gakpo scores at Anfield, and he definitely scores against Man United. So
it's true.
I just, listen, you know, he hasn't had the greatest start to the season, but he's actually done all right. But I don't know, if I'm picking it, Cody Gakpo's playing left wing, and I'd probably say to Ekitike, you're coming off the bench. And I'd just say to him, if you ever get sent on for something stupid like that ever again, you're not even getting on the bench anymore. You're an absolute knobhead. And then obviously Salah plays on the right, and I think that gives you the change where if it is somehow still 0-0 and you have to start going for the game, bringing Gakpo on doesn't feel quite as powerful as bringing Ekitike on playing number 9, does it? So.
Yeah, no, I'm similar. I'll probably play your team on Wednesday. I'll play this team on Sunday with Gakpo, Isak and Salah.
I think I would as well, yeah. I'm in favour of that, yeah. I think that one of the issues with making too many changes like that is if he then doesn't win the game, he then gets criticised for like, well, he really doesn't know his best team. Now he's kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks, basically. Because if you make 3 changes at once, Ekitike hasn't started at left wing yet. Gomez hasn't started a meaningful game yet. And Frimpong was at right back. It's not so bad, but it's still a lot of change.
Josh doesn't like Frimpong, you know.
Yeah, you'd be right, mate. You'd be right. I wouldn't say that.
He's upset because he really loves everyone who does recruitment for Liverpool, and he thinks they're making 2 fucking stinkers, and he's got to write a Substack.
I just like tactics a bit too much, mate. To be honest, I mean, he doesn't make sense in the tactics.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're upset about it, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
You need to watch a bit more of a social media, you know, mate. You're really softened too.
It's like it's upset his faith. Do you know what I mean? It's like these lads getting nothing wrong. Oh fuck!
No, to be fair, I called this one, mate. I was a bit more on my toes at this one, like, you know.
You were, yeah.
What are we doing here, basically? But release clauses, mate, and homegrown quotas results in Frimpong playing for Liverpool, maybe.
Is right FSG out? I've been on that podcast for years.
Fucking hell.
He writes it up on Substack and I'll subscribe, lad.
Oh, there we are. We're going to win?
Yeah, we'll batter them. They're shite.
Okay, well, I'm into that.
I hope so.
I preferred this.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I preferred this.
He never commits though, does he? Never, ever.
I think we'll be good. 2-1.
We're good.
2-1.
I think we're more comfortable than that. I think it's that interesting because if you look at them so far this season, I think that they feel like they're stronger. But I think if you can get under the skin, they're still brittle.
Yeah,
really brittle.
They are papering over cracks.
So they were 2-0 up against Burnley. It goes back to 2-2.
Yeah.
At home, I think they lose their minds a little bit during that Chelsea game, albeit with all the weather that's going on, but they still get a result. I think if you look at Brentford, it goes 1, it goes 2, dead fast for them away from home at Brentford. I think that there's still, for me, if we score first, my thing is the most important period of the game is 10 minutes to follow. Because I think if we go 1, we've got to go 2 fast, and I think we can. I think they will, because there's loads of those
style as well. Though. That is against a team like them. That is our style.
And there's loads of those players who remember the 7-0.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that we make sure when we're on top, and that's your set piece thing, and the manager's set piece thing is when we're on top, we've got to press home the advantage. We'll be on top for more of the game than them, and I think we go bang bang. And I think if we go bang bang, it could just be see you later quite quickly. But you've got to go bang bang to do it, and that's my worry.
Listen, I think we can, with the team we've got and the evidence we've got in front of us, we know we can do that. We've done it against Let's Go, we've done it against Bournemouth, even against Everton.
No, we definitely
did. Yeah, absolutely. We've done it before, and these are no great shakes. It's always a little bit worrying for us because it's Man United, so there's a different level towards it. But they're not a good team, them, and we are. We might not have shown in the last week before the international break, but we're fucking good.
That'll do.